And
I believe we are live on YouTube now.
okay, great. So oh, that's right. I was going to talk. Yes, that's right. Right.
Yes,
And
all right. And I hear my,
yes, and so now I'm doing things. Okay, so yes, I'm going to copy this link into a notepad there. Okay, hopefully that way if I get disconnected, I've got that link quickly, readily, handy, oh, and all that. And let's see here.
great.
Then I can, okay, done testing. I can stop blathering.
Well, good.
Okay,
Thank you.
so
Perfect.
yes.
All right. And we will start in 9 minutes.
Okay. We need some theme music for Shadow the Scientist, don't we? Here, let me
I like
jump over
that.
to. I was going to share screen. There we go. Let's see what Suno comes up with. Oh, that's right. I would have to be logged into the other account. Okay, wait a minute.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen, JD, just so people know
Okay.
what is happening for this session, but feel free to play music while we're waiting for these next 7 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Theme music for Shadow the Scientist. What type? What type of music? Slavic folk metal. Ooh, very tempting. Okay, we're gonna do a trial. I've got to see. I got to hear what it would be like as Slavic folk metal. So this is an AI generate music program that I found.
Is it playing?
Just starting,
Okay.
and
Oh,
the picture it selected is something like the wave. You know that woodcut, the famous woodcut, the wave.
oh, okay.
And so it's funny, but I don't think it's what we're looking for.
Oh, okay. I don't actually hear it. Maybe it's because you're
Yeah.
not sharing your screen.
I would have to go in. I'd have to share, and I would have to select share sound. Okay, now you might be able to hear it.
No,
Can you hear it?
no, I don't hear it.
Oh, okay.
It's probably because you're not
Yeah, well,
not
okay, here are
sharing
the
your
lyrics.
screen.
Theme music for Shadow the Scientist, kind of some good, heavy rock music background. I'll I'll see if I can download it and send that over to you. Okay, where
Then
is
we'll have to use it in your
this?
next, we'll have to use it in your next session,
We'll
JB. I
use
love
it
it.
on my next session. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll
Okay,
practice
let's
it
see here.
beforehand. Yes, we are indeed live on YouTube. I see we have 4 people currently in the audience. So those of
Oh
you
wait,
watching us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. We'll be starting in 5 minutes.
my next session. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll
Okay,
practice
let's
that
see here.
beforehand. Yes, we
Oh, hey, Echo. Yeah, let's see here.
thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So let me stop my share. I'm gonna, because I see your screen is still sharing.
Want me to stop?
Yes, please. I didn't realize that.
How do I unshare? Okay, no, that's probably not going to do it.
Let, let me go back here. You see stop share at the bottom?
I don't see a stop share at the bottom.
Um,
Oh, there it is. It's hidden down here. Got it. Other screen. Okay, that stopped share.
yes, thank you.
Okay, good. Ah, sorry to do this to stress you like that.
No worries, no worries. I do look forward to having some theme music for your session next time, so
Yeah,
we'll be ready.
and then people can complain about, oh, you're using AI. That's horrible.
All right. So for those of you in our YouTube audience, thank you for being with us. We'll start in 3 minutes.
All right. Um, okay.
Thank you all for joining this session of Shadow the Scientist. We will begin at the top of the hour. Welcome to this session of Shadow the Scientist. My name is Jamika Marshall, and I am pleased to serve as the Shadow the Scientist coordinator. Thank you all for joining us. Shadow the Scientist is an initiative housed under the Creating Equity in STEAM umbrella of programs, housed under the CREST umbrella of programs offered by a team at the University of California at Santa Cruz. We offer free online public experiential learning sessions several times a month. These are hosted by professionals in a variety of STEAM fields. So there's a QR code on the screen. Please feel free to scan that code and check out our website where you can register for an upcoming session, request to have a dedicated session for a specific group, or you can also request to host a session to share your science. Now, in this session, we have the privilege of shadowing J.D. Armstrong of the University of Hawaii's Institute for Astronomy in Maui as he uses the Las Cumbres Observatory network of robotic telescopes. The University of Hawaii is located in the most diverse community and environment in the world. They are a globally recognized center of learning and research. Now, the IFA's mission is to advance scientific understanding of the origin and nature of the universe by conducting high-impact research, developing new technologies to observe the cosmos, defending the planet from potentially hazardous asteroids, and sharing knowledge of astronomy through education and outreach, in particular, engaging with the Native Hawaiian community. The Las Cumbres Observatory, or LCO, is a worldwide network of robotic telescopes run by a non-profit private operating foundation. The telescopes include the Haleakala Observatory on Maui, McDonnell Observatory in Texas, Cerro Tololo Observatory in Chile, the Tide Observatory in the Canary Islands, the South African Astronomical Observatory in South Africa, the Wise Observatory in Israel, and the Siding Spring Observatory in Australia. Utilizing telescopes that are spread around the world greatly increases the opportunities to observe all astronomical events. The light from celestial objects can be sampled with much greater frequency and for longer durations when observations are passed from one telescope to the next. Now, I'd like to welcome our science guide for this session, Dr. J.D. Armstrong. J.D., welcome.
Oh, hey, thank you for that introduction. I am Dr. J.D. Armstrong. I'm the Maui Technology Education and Outreach Specialist. Thank you all for joining. I hope that we all have a good time. And with this small group, I would encourage you to go ahead and put things in the chat, and Shamika will, wave a red flag at me and go, hey, we got a comment, question, or whatever. With this smaller group, it's easy to go ahead and make it a little more interactive, a little more chat-like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so Jamika and I have talked a little bit about what we would do in this session. And let me open that document. I already had it open. I was on top of things. And
Yes.
Shamika, you gave a great introduction to Las Cumbres Observatories. They're this global network of telescopes, and they have different classes of telescopes, like, for example, the 1 meter class, and then they've got identical copies of those 1 meter telescopes at multiple locations. Am I freezing up, or
Um,
I,
you
we
seem to
had a
be
little
good.
problem with the network earlier. Okay,
That's
seem to
true.
be
You're
good.
here.
Okay,
You're here and
all right.
live. No problem, JD.
Okay, good, good. And so just a warning, we have had a little bit of trouble with the internet in the building, everyone. And so if I do disconnect, don't panic. Jamika will show you that she can juggle or something while I reconnect. And so but yes, so Los Cumbres, it's this network of telescopes, and there are all these different sites, and then there are multiple copies of each telescope, meaning that it makes it easy, makes it realistic for observations from different sites to be combined very easily, or at least a lot easier than otherwise. And so I've actually had students look at like exoplanet transits and go from one site to the next, or something like Jamaica and I have been working on asteroid rotation. And so we look at how fast asteroids are rotating, and sometimes they're rotating slow enough that you need to observe from multiple sites. So that's a really cool feature. And then also the fact that you can get these telescopes on sky. There's 24/7. There's a telescope on sky, weather permitting, and so that's kind of cool. So anyway, so yay Los Cumbres. I guess that's my bottom line. I really like this um, this facility, and one of the things that I do a lot is tracking minor planets, so asteroids and comets. And so whenever we're talking about tracking asteroids, one of the main websites, I guess I should share my screen, shouldn't I? I
Yeah,
will
that
go
would
ahead and
be
share my screen.
perfect.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to open up a web browser, and there are kind of there's a second site that I use in a different way. They alert me to things. This is the Minor Planet Center, and they're sort of like the storehouse for all of the um, observations of minor planets, of asteroids, comets, uh, and so this is one of the two go-to sites for if you're interested in looking at minor planets. Boy, I'm saying this a lot, at comets and asteroids. Okay, so one of the things that I tend to do is look at like near Earth objects. Um, I guess I should mention the other site is the NASA Scout system. Um, I use them more as an alert system. So if there's something that is discovered that looks like it's going to make a close pass to the Earth or even impact the Earth, um, they send out emails, and then you can go look on their site and get ephemerides. So what we're looking at here is we're on the Minor Planet Center website, and we've gone to this near Earth object confirmation page. I'm going to select all of the targets, and let's just see what there is to observe from South America. Okay, this is like the uh, phone number or whatever of one of the telescopes on Las Cumbres network in Chile. Um, and so we can go ahead and get ephemerides. And so, and Jamika, if I vary too far from the script or too far from what you want, you can interrupt and tell me to change. And that goes for the audience too. You guys remember, audience
That-
participation is welcome.
Absolutely. It's
Yay.
it's perfect. I have dropped a few links in the chat first one to the Las Cumbres Observatory, and the second link is to the Minor Planet Center. So now, JD, on
Mhm.
this screen, there's a lot of information. Can you tell us what ephemeris data is for those in our audience who may not be
Oh,
familiar
yes,
with
I
that
should do
term?
that. Yes, thank you. Perfect. And unless all of you know what this is, please do ask. So the ephemeris data, that basically means like position and time. So here's the time. So 2024, 10/18/05, which is a couple hours from now. Yeah, this is in universal time. So like Greenwich Mean Time, don't mess around with any silliness like daylight savings. The reason we all use universal time is it makes it a lot easier to say when things are happening. You don't have to say, okay, this asteroid is going to be here at where are we looking at it from? Oh, okay. This that's the time. And just we all use the same time. This is what's known as the right ascension. So this is like longitude in the sky. It measures east-west. And this is declination. This measures north-south. And this is, wow, this is pretty far south, minus 70 degrees. So negative 90 degrees would be at the south pole of the sky. Okay. I really kind of, now that I'm noticing that, I'm really wishing we could get this, but it's a bit too faint. So this is the magnitude, the V-band magnitude or visual magnitude. And magnitude is kind of backwards. Um, the bigger the number, the more positive the number, the fainter the object. And so I know that with the 1 meter telescopes, which is what we're hoping we'll program in some observations today. And if anyone has ideas for something we could go look at, I'll just put that call out right now. So please drop any ideas. If you have something that you're just burning to look at, we can probably take a quick look at it. I think that'd be fun. So anyway, okay, back to this. So the magnitude, it determines, it tells how bright it is, and that means, okay, to get a magnitude 22.3 on a good night with a little bit of luck, I would need to expose the camera for 240 seconds. So I have to let the camera gather light for 240 seconds, about. And then we come over here, the motion. So this is how fast it's moving. This is moving 6.48 arc seconds per minute. So this would be moving like 24 arc seconds if we took a picture that lasted for 240 seconds. Yeah, and so it would move way too far for us to really it would streak at that point. And that wouldn't really help us see it any better. It's just it would spread out the light over a larger number of pixels. So this is not a practical target to observe. And so I'm going to throw up a screen here. So
While you're doing that,
anyone,
JD, yes, while you're doing
mhm.
that second screen, we do have a comment from Eric. Um, yes, the Atlas comment. This is comment 2023A3. How about looking at that? Well, there's some issues with that right now. JD, can you tell us why that is a challenging target?
Yes, let's actually go look at that. That's the comet. I can't remember the it's something Atlas, and the something means I think it's Purple Mountain, if I recall.
That's right. Yes, that's where it was discovered at the
Yeah,
Purple Mountain Observatory.
yes, yeah. Uh, yes, here we go. Okay. There's a really great story. Thank you, Eric, for asking. I actually have a little bit of a good story on that. So let's go ahead and look at whether or not we can get observations tonight. And spoiler alert, we're not going to be able to. So this is the observing portal for the Los Cumbres observatories. We start off with the name of the observations. I usually give it the same name as the target. Um, and then you have to have a proposal with some time that can be used. And so this is one of the University of Hawaii's account, and we make this available to students all over the state. Um, and these, just don't worry too much about those. Those are a little more advanced settings. Um, Type of observation, well, we want an image. We could get a spectrum, but let's just look at the image. Instrument, remember how I said there were different size telescopes? These, you can select between the different size telescopes. I'm going to go ahead and go with these smaller telescopes, even though, I mean, you always want bigger, right? But actually, these little tiny guys for this purpose would be very good because they get on sky really quick. There's not as much competition. And then we would want probably a couple of exposures. Let's just pretend that we're going to get this and say we're going to get 4 exposures, and then 5 seconds, which is actually just 1 second because it's so bright right now. And then, so Eric, do we like color or black and white?
Yes, feel free to drop your comment there in the chat, Eric. Color or black and
Yeah.
white?
Should we try to take a color or a black and white image?
Let's see what color would be good, Eric says. Let's go for it,
Yeah,
baby.
surprisingly. Yeah, everyone always asks for color. Yes. Okay, so what we would want to do to get a color image is our eyes have 4 types of cells. There's the rod cells that just are like black and white. And then there are 3 types of cone cells, and each type of cone cell detects a different band of light. So there are blue cone cells that detect blue light, green cone cells detect green light, and then red cone cells detect red light. And by combining sort of an image in red, green, and blue, your brain infers all the colors of the rainbow, kind of has a decoding scheme for that. And so what our TV does is it puts up 3 images, one in red, one in green, one in blue. And so we want a color image of this comet. First thing we would do is I always go with blue first, and I actually know why I do that. It goes back to the old real-time interface that used to be on the telescope. And so we want a blue filter, a green filter, and then a red filter. And then we're going to tell it. Now this is where you can become really lazy as an astronomer. They make it so easy. We can tell it, okay, this is a non-sidereal target, and it's a comet. So would you go and look for this comet? And what these are, these numbers, this orbital inclination, longitude of ascending node, these are all parameters that express that basically describe the orbit of this comet. And I'm looking at this, and this is very interesting to me. Eccentricity being greater than 1, an eccentricity less than 1 is elliptical, including circular. but greater than 1 means it's hyperbolic. And so this, based on this comet is not bound to the sun. So it would make one pass through the solar system and then leave. And I had heard that it was going to make another pass in hundreds of thousands of years or something. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to look at that. Might be that the orbit is better determined these days. Okay, so and up here it says, according to the constraints of the request, the target is never visible within the time window. Okay, so one thing we can do is we can try looking a little closer to the horizon. And apparently this might work.
That's
I say we go for
surprising.
it.
We should, because just
Yeah,
yesterday we were discussing that it's so low in the west that it seems unlikely that we'd be able to get any images of it, but maybe not.
yeah. So let's go to the Minor Planet Center and let's take a real quick look. Okay, that's not a good sign. That's saying that the internet here is playing games. All right, so you can go ahead and get ephemeris, which are the coordinates for specific targets. And here's our target. That's the name of it. And we would want to do hourly targets and C31. Let's go ahead and say, hey, what does it look like in Tenerife right now? Okay, so the sun has to be down for us to observe, and the object has to be up for us to observe. Kind of makes sense. And so actually, let's go with Haleakala, because I will look at this later tonight. Yes, I'm sort of on the slopes of Haleakala right now. So the object altitude, so when the sun is 15 degrees below the horizon and the object, usually you have to go like 30 degrees above the horizon, but this is 23 degrees above the horizon. Okay, that might actually be doable. It's really low when the sun has set far enough, but they're saying apparently we might be able to squeeze in 2 minutes of observation. Should we do it?
We should do it. We should do
Everyone,
it.
round of applause. Okay, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and submit this and see what we can get. And I'm going to, I'll have to message a friend of mine, John Hughes. Mr. Hughes is a STEM and Hawaiian Studies teacher over at Wailuku Elementary. And let's go ahead and take a look at some observations. I talked to Mr. Hughes yesterday, and so here's his account. So he's a STEM and Hawaiian Studies teacher at Wailuku Elementary, and he did not program these observations in. Some of his students did, some of the elementary kids. And so that is a picture of the comet. And they knew to use B, V, and R. So Los Cumbres will generate an automatic color image for us. It does look to be a little bit yellowish or greenish from what it should be, because the stars are all kind of yellowish, greenish. And so don't entirely believe these colors, but this is the comet that we're talking about. This was observed back in May. And yeah, so that was observed back in May. And apparently some of the kids, one or more of the kids came in and they said, hey, and, can we observe a comet? And Mr. Hughes looked at him and said, well, why do you want to observe a comet? They said, well, Kamehameha was born when Halley's Comet was visible from Hawaii. And so that was that part of the legend of Kamehameha was that this comet had foretold the birth of a great man. And so yeah, and so it's really kind of cool. And so Mr. Hughes couldn't say no to that, of course. Um, being a I think that's a really great reason to want to observe a comet. And so then so he said, okay, well, what comet do you want to observe? He didn't give him the comet. And so the kids found this one and decided they were going to observe it. And since then, it's been a roller coaster ride because there was a prediction that they thought that one scientist predicted that the comet was going to break up as it passed near the sun. And that didn't happen. But we actually were trying to find observations of this comet when it was very close to the sun to see if it had broken up or not, because we've been really anticipating this. And so anyway, shout out to the students over at Wailuku Elementary, to Mr. John Hughes, and we'll shout out to Dr. Nikan Arapov, who's the principal. I hope I'm saying your last name right there, Nikan. And so yeah, they're doing some amazing thing with the kids. So okay, so we've actually seen this, and I'm going to grab these FITS images. Let's take a real quick look on these. Actually, no, I don't need the archive. I just need to download selected.
Will you be able to show us how we went from this black and white image to the color image?
So that sounds like a good use of time. Wasn't quite on our list, but I think we should do that. Sound good?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Okay. While we're waiting for that, I'm gonna go and look through Memphis, Tennessee stargazers. Oh, cool. Aloha, Memphis. And anyone? Uh, yeah. How about Chinese for Purple Mountain? Yes. Thank you, Eric. That's right. Yes. Um. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was looking at this with binoculars 2 nights ago. I'm going to try to get it again. Um, if you can get a little away from city lights, so Kailua Kona shouldn't be too bad. All right, color would be fine. Woohoo! Uh, RGB, yes. Okay. And this is still downloading? Okay, this is going to take a little bit to download. So when it downloads, it'll automatically open. We were discussing let's see here. We were discussing why we couldn't observe this, even though I really want to, because if it's passing over the south pole of the Earth, either it's really close or it's not in the plane that most of the solar system is in. But we can't observe it because I need 240 seconds. So 240 seconds. And our velocity, our speed is something like 6.5 arc seconds per minute. Okay. And then our equation is distance equals rate or speed times time. Okay. And sort of the size of a spot on our telescope images is something like 1.5 arc seconds. And as Jamika will tell you, we do this calculation when we're working And it's one of those ones that you do so many times, you just start doing it in your head without thinking at some point. Um, so the distance that it would travel in 240 arc seconds distance is equal to 240. So actually, I'm going to convert this to minutes. Okay. So 4 minutes times 6.5 arc seconds per minute. Okay. And then we can cancel the units. And I think Jamaica will tell you, I really push units because one of my friends, he passed the qualification exam because he was very good with units. Good story for another time. Um, so 4 times 6.5, that is 50. Is that correct? Really quickly. Never hurts to use a calculator, but sorry.
I got 26.
Oh, 26. Yeah,
Oh,
26. Okay. See, that's a brain cramp. 26. Oh, and yeah. Yeah, okay. So 26, and then that's arc seconds. So it'll move the equivalent of many spot sizes, and what you'll get is instead of a dot, you'll get this streak, and that streak will not be bright enough to really see. And so that's why we can't observe that, why that's not going to work for us. Let's see. Oh, hey, here we go. Okay. And here are the images. Let me see here. Copy this. Um, oh, yeah, something I was doing some 3D printing, documents, temp. Let's just go in here. Okay.
and while you're doing that, JD, we have in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
Rob has shared that he took a picture of the comet on Sunday with his iPhone and dropped a link to a Flickr account to take a look at it.
Ooh,
And wow, is it beautiful. Rob, where are you located, Rob?
Rob Johnson. Hey, Rob. Ooh, yes. Well, that's nice. That's pretty. I'm going to try to drag out my camera tonight and try. Hopefully, I'll get something as good as that. That's really nice.
That's
All right. Hey,
beautiful.
thank you, Rob. Yeah.
Rob is in West
Okay.
Hills, California.
Oh, nice. Beautiful area. Yeah. Okay. So here is our red, green, and blue images. So I'm going to open up one of the images. We were talking about how do we make a color image out of these 3 black and white images with filters. So first thing I need to do is figure out, okay, which filter is this? This is the blue filter. Okay. And so the image 88. Okay, so 88, this is our blue filter. 89 is probably our green, but we'll double check. File. The program I'm using is called DS9, SAO Image DS9. It's a free program that is available from the Harvard Smithsonian. It's kind of almost essential if you're going to be working with FITS images. And FITS images are the standard for astronomy, because they have the image, the picture part, and they have this extra little information section that you can put all the details of the observation, like where was this observation taken? Let's see here. This was taken at McDonald Observatory, the Los Cumbres Observatory Global Network at Aquan A. So I can find all this information, but one of the important things is the V filter. V as in Victor is our green, and here's the exposure time. So once we get all three of the images, and just to show you that this is not a black and white, just a black image, it is a black and white image. There's our comet. Okay. So what we can do is we can do frame, and they have a red, green, blue frame option. So I'm going to load the blue image first because that's just the way I do things. So I put the radio button here. Okay, that's better. There are some little quirks to SAO image that just kind of, you want to strangle it at times, but it's a really great program. Okay, so, and I had to make this larger so I could move it. That was one of the things that, so this blue, so we're going to load the blue image. So file, open up the blue image. Okay, 88 was the blue. And we're going to scale this 99.5%. Okay, so we need the black to be black and the light to be light. Okay, so maybe like that. You can still see a little of the tail. And then we're going to switch over to the green image. We're going to file, open that. So our green image. And this will put it into the green channel. That's our problem. Okay. And then we're going to switch over to the red image, open the red. Okay. And then kind of adjust the red so that it's, I kind of see why it's a little yellow. But yeah. Okay, so the green maybe needs to be tweaked a bit.
JD, this program DS9, I know we've used it before, and I'm learning from you, the best practices as we're using this. Is it for, for those who are new to doing astronomical imaging or interacting with astronomical software? Is this a program that you would recommend for those just starting out, or is this more of a mid-level kind of program to use?
Might be. I would actually recommend that any beginner go ahead and grab this, and then because it's free. I mean, can't beat the price. But yeah, you might not use it until you're a little bit more advanced. If you're using, so let's say you're an astrophotographer and you're using a DSLR, a digital camera that you've hooked onto a telescope, you wouldn't have FITS images. So this probably would not be a program I would use for if you're not going to use FIT. If you're not looking at FITS images, I would not use this program. Okay. But if you are using FITS images, well, this is the first place you want to start. So, okay, so there you go. There's that. So we've put together this image from the this color image from the data that the kids in Wailuku. Would it be all right if we shared the images, the FITS images, so that anyone at home who wanted to do that could go ahead and play with those? Do you think you could get those out to everyone?
I absolutely can, JD. If you just email me, I will,
Okay,
when I send the follow-up email thanking everyone for being, for joining us and with the follow-up survey link, I will also add a link to these images.
that's great. Okay, and I talked to John. I'll make sure it's okay with John and the kids, and we will share those. I think that'd be something nice. See, y'all got a souvenir for coming. Thank you. And thanks again for sending that. That's cool. All
Absolutely,
right.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we've done a little bit of playing with some images. Let's see if Las Cumbres has decided whether or not it's going to do this. Okay, it is saying that it will try to attempt to get the images to image this from Tenerife at 1924 Universal Time. So that would be 9:24 Universal Time or 9:24 Hawaii time, 9:24 in the morning. So they're looking at doing this tomorrow, but it is on the schedule. So that is kind of exciting.
That is very exciting, JD. If these images actually, if we actually get some good images from it, can you also forward those to me so I can share them with everyone who's with us this in this session?
Will do. Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? All right. Everyone, keep your fingers crossed for Eric's observations to come in. That's fantastic. All right. Um, okay, so we were looking at some asteroids. Last time we were talking about some asteroids that I have been looking at, some of which might be follow-ups, which might be my discoveries. And so I haven't looked on this recently. This is the list of things that I'm not sure about right now. And so I thought we would really quickly just see what's going on with these, if there's anything new, any new developments.
So is
And
this list of objects all potential discoveries that you've made potentially?
yeah, potential. Yeah, that's the idea. Is I saw something in the image. I was pretty sure it was an asteroid, um, but it was not known. And so, if it's not known, maybe somebody else spotted it and they just kind of haven't followed it enough, or something like that. Or possibly it is a new discovery. And some of these, there were like 4 or 5 that I'm fairly certain, like this one, for example. Um, I think this is it. There's you can go and just basically say, hey, tell me about this asteroid. Here's the name. This is the page I'm looking for. And so if we go ahead and paste that name in here, we can take a look at the asteroid. First observation used, initial reported observation by Sarah Tololo, LCOA, on August 8th. And so we come over here. This is my first observation, August 8th, and this was from Sarah Tololo. So unless there was a pretty big coincidence of somebody else observing with Ceratololo A, yes, Ceratololo A, then it looks like I am the first person to report this asteroid. Interactive sketch. Go ahead and take a look at this. I know, Mika, you were saying that you really like this, and so we definitely wanted to throw this in. And so we're doing this. Oh yeah, this is the one that I think is really cool because you look at the solar system, and most of the solar system is kind of on a plane, but this asteroid is sticking up a fair amount. So that's, to me, that's kind of exciting because it makes it a little more unusual. This red circle is the orbit of Mars. The blue is Earth, Venus, Mercury. So it's somewhere between Mars and Jupiter, which is, that's where the main belt is, but it's a little bit of a little eccentric orbit here. So this is kind of a little out of the ordinary. So it's considered a main belt asteroid, which there's millions, over a million of those that are tracked. But this one, yeah, it's a main belt asteroid, but it's a little unusual. So I kind of like that one. It's a little shinier rock. Actually, no, it's a very dull rock. And so that's one of the things. Okay, so let's go over the list and see. Okay, so 50. These offsets tell us how far the observation is from the position of the object that they're talking about. Okay, so they're saying, so this is the observation that I'm sending them and saying, hey, what do you know of that is around here at this time? And they're saying, well, this asteroid it's off by 1 arc minute to the west and 3 arc minutes to the south. And hey, if you have observations of this, we would like to have them because to refine the orbit so that this does not become a lost object. But the fact it's so far off, I don't think that's a match. There's still not a match for this object, so that's good or bad. I don't know. I mean, it'd be neat if somebody was, if they come back and say, "Oh yeah, we found it. Somebody else has started spotting this object, and hey, look, you got the first observation." But you know, that's the pipe dream. That's the big dream. This is another object. Again, this is probably not a match. This one's probably not a match. This one, they're saying, hey, we don't even have a guess. This one's not a match. This is not a match. I don't know what's going on here. It's weird. Okay, that's not a match. This object does not have a match. Okay, this is new. This has a new, this may be a new discovery. Everyone fasten your seatbelts here. Let's find out. Okay, I will admit I peeked at this earlier today and I saw this, but I have not looked at it since any more than that. So you guys are live for this. Okay, so there's 9 days of orbit, it looks like. Let's see here. Or maybe that's 9 degrees. I don't know. Let's see here. So we're going to go put this into the page here. And please show us this. Okay, 2024 RY 151. First observation 930 or 93 0903. And my observation 0903. So this might be a discovery for me. This is very exciting. Thank you all for being here
Oh
to
my
share
gosh,
the
this is so
excitement.
exciting. Yes,
Yeah, let's see
yes.
what it looks like. A little bit out of the plane of the ecliptic, not as much as the other one. Hey, that's exciting. That might be a new discovery for me. I'm not going to presume that it is, but it does say leave for survey because it's kind of a little bit lost right now. Um,
So what's the next step after this? It's a potential
yeah, I was
discovery,
just
which
thinking.
we're so excited about that, and that we could be here and be the
Yeah,
first ones to hear about this with you and to sharing your excitement. Yeah, what's that next
yeah.
step?
Okay, does everyone want to go and see if we can observe this?
Let's see what
That
we
would be
have in the chat.
okay. Being honest, here's the next step. Leave for survey recovery.
Oh, I
They think
see.
that the uncertainty of this target is so high that fight recovering it is unlikely. Are we going to do that, folks?
Let's see what we have in the
I'm
chat. We have lots of
yeah,
congratulations. Well,
cool. Thank you.
I
I no
definitely
no
vote for
congratulations yet, but because I'm not sure. I'm to be honest, I'm not sure. But let's
let's do
see
the
if we
follow-up.
can't. Yeah. Okay, so this is magnitude 22. That's getting pretty faint, but we could do that. It's moving very slow, 33 arc seconds per minute. What do you think? Should we go grab it?
I think we
I'm gonna,
should.
yeah.
So because it's that faint at 22 magnitude, would we just need to take a longer observation to ensure that we were able to capture it?
That's correct. Yeah, okay, so let's go through this. So here's the name of the object. Proposal is just, that's the proposal I'm gonna put it on. Um, acceptability threshold is if you don't finish 90% of the observations, try again. It's just if something interrupts the observations, whether it should be considered complete or not. Repeats, we can do configuration, do sets of configurations, and then this will repeat each of those configurations multiple times. Optimization type, this is um, how do we want to look at what's your priority? Is it time or is it air mass that we should look at? Probably should go air mass. Okay. We want images from the 1 meter network. And let's see. Okay, does anyone want to do the math? How long can we observe this for?
Take us through it,
Sorry,
JD.
you guys came for the pretty pictures and hopefully you're staying for the math. Okay,
Absolutely.
so we want to solve this equation for time. So if I divide both sides by velocity, then what I get is that the time is equal to the distance divided by the velocity. Okay. The spot size I said was 1.5 arc seconds. 1.5 arc seconds. And the velocity is 0.33 arc seconds per minute. Okay. And so I'm going to use my calculator because you guys saw the brain cramp earlier of me not doing math. Okay, so we could integrate for about 4.5 minutes. So that would be approximately equal to 4.5. The arc seconds cancel. The minutes goes from the denominator of the denominator, and that means it's in the numerator. So 4.5 minutes of time, of integration time, before we get blurring, before we get streaking. And so we're going to go pretty close to that. Let's go with, we're going to go a little over. We're going to go 300 seconds. All the different filters, we want as much light as possible to detect this faint little guy. So Pan-STARR's W filter will give us the most light through. It's like a clear filter, a black and white filter. W, I think, might even mean white, or it might mean wide, I don't know. Here's the name of the object. We're going to go non-sidereal, and this is a minor planet, not a comet. And they just do, there's a better way to represent the orbits for asteroids with one set of numbers, a little bit better way to represent the numbers there we go, for comets. So these numbers represent the orbit of that asteroid. So basically it describes this circle and where the asteroid is on that circle. And so we probably want to get this from the best site we can. I'm going to limit the, don't tell any that I'm trying to force a site here a little bit, because Los Cumbres, part of their model is, and I really support this model 99% of the time. Their model is that all the telescopes are the same, and so you shouldn't be choosing a telescope. But if we get this from McDonald, I'm afraid that the quality of the McDonald is just not quite as good a site. And so the images will be a little bit, they won't be as high quality. It's a really good site. It's just not as good as Cerro Tololo. Okay, so we've got these observations, and then we're going to go up and we're going to do a dither. That basically, it means move the telescope around between images. What that does is if there's some schmutz or something on the optical system that might look like an asteroid, it'll move funny, and so I'll know it's not an asteroid. So we're going to go with 1 meter, 300 seconds exposure, and then dither. That's what I was talking about. Thank you, everyone. All right, and then so we're going to do 2 arc seconds left to right, east west, between each image, 2 arc seconds north south. We need 2 by 2 because we need 4 images. 2 by 2 will give us 4 images. And so let's look at what that'll look like. We're going to start here, move up, move over, move back down. Okay. Right. There we go. Okay, so this will take about just short of 25 minutes of telescope time. 23 minutes, 44 seconds of telescope time is the estimate. And so that's programmed in. All right, real quick, let's see if there were any others that are matches. Nothing on 33. Oh, this one has been, they figured out that this is, in fact, a known asteroid. So I should go in and make a note of that. That's almost certainly somebody else's discovery. but they are saying it's very desirable between November and December. So we might want to come back and try to remember to come back and look at that in November and see if they still need some observations. Down here, number of objects checked, 1.4 million over, yeah, 1.5 million would be proper way around that. So, all right, very cool. The other thing we talked about doing, I'll just do a splash of this because I know we're running out of time. Wait, where does the time go, right?
You take us through so much, and it's so engaging that the time just flies by, like those asteroids in the images that we're hoping to get.
Yeah. All right. So real quick, I hope you all remember the DART project, the double asteroid redirection test. So one thing that Jamaica and I were talking about yesterday was looking at some of the observations of the asteroid. Okay, that just went weird. Okay, trying again. Yeah, on this new computer, for some reason DS9 sometimes misbehaves. It's weird. I've never seen it do that before on any other computer. Okay. So I'm just deleting the task. So where's delete, end task, end task. Okay, there we go. Sometimes when I get um, two copies of it running at the same time, it freezes up. Okay, so this is Didymus. This was a few days after impact. So this is our asteroid, or actually our double asteroids, so two asteroids. And what was really cool to me was I was looking at this and said, hey, look, it's got a tail, kind of like a comet, but it's actually got like 3 spikes. So I thought that was really kind of neat. We were talking about possibly putting some observations of Didymus onto Las Cumbres, and I'll probably do that. And if we get something interesting, we'll go ahead and share that with all the people that have attended today. So should we wrap up, or
Yes, I think this is
should we?
I think this is a great point to stop. Although I know I could go a little bit longer, but I want to respect everyone's time
Yeah.
and your time that you shared with us, JD. So first, I hope we get some observations for some follow-up observations of from these objects that DART impacted. That would be awesome because it was what Diddy Moss and Diddy Moon?
Dimorphos, wasn't it?
Dimorphos, that's right,
I
Dimorphos. And
think that
I
was it.
think Diddy Moon was something I heard one of the podcasters give as a cute nickname.
I like it.
Diddy Moon. So we're looking potentially if you get observations that you'll share those with me so I can share them with the group. We're also
Yeah.
looking for um, observations of comet 2023 A3, the Atlas comet, at Eric's request,
Mhm.
and I'm super excited about that. And I believe also those images that the brilliant students at Wailuku Elementary with their teacher, um,
John Hughes, yes.
John Hughes.
We'll also
Yes,
shout out to Nakan Arapaf, their principal, who
yes,
supports this kind of thing, because that's having a principal that is supportive like that is so helpful.
it's
So
vital.
yes.
It's
Okay. Yeah.
absolutely vital. So I will look forward to getting those emails from you with the images and observations that you have programmed with us today, and I will share them with everyone who attended this session. So potentially multiple souvenirs from this session today, everyone. So thank you so much. Yes, so we had such a great group this evening. Thank you so much, Yuli, Yael, Vani, Rob, Nick, Jim, Eric, and Diana. I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. Thank you so much for being with us, for your comments, and for your questions. We
Yeah.
do hope you'll join us for next month's session with JD. I'll have that posted in the next week or so. And maybe in that session, JD, we can look at a few of the observations, the results that you programmed today. We can look at those
Okay.
results next month and then do some more observations with you. What do you think?
That would be wonderful. And so I've just submitted our requests for Didymus. Wonderful way to sign up. And I will share all those with you. Hope to see you again soon. And please, keep watching the sky and all that.
Thank you so much, JD. And thank you all of us for being with us in this session of Shadow the Scientist, Chasing Asteroids with JD Armstrong. Until next time, aloha.
Aloha.